What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's me, Fitty Trent, and yes, I am just alone once again. And once again, another really good game happened that I only get to review all by myself, sadly. Now, this game that just happened that we're going to be reviewing is the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Boston Bruins. And for those of you who did not see this game, it was one of the best games of the season. Let me tell you that much right now. Setting the stage for you guys right here, right now. Frederik Andersen has never lost in his career against the Bruins, and he's had a 7-0-0 start against the Bruins. William Nylander comes in this game, 7-game point streak, playing very well, and the Maple Leafs and the Bruins are 3 points away from each other in the entire standings. One's a wild card spot, the other one is third. These are the most important 2 points and probably one of the most important games of the entire season for both these teams. So we start off this game. Everyone's going guns ablaze and shots are firing. Next thing you know, boom, first goal of the game, David Backes. His 16th goal of the game, assisted by Brad Marchand, who's been hot. 10 points in the last 5 games in the NHL. Very nicely done for him. Next, we move on. A little bit more happens. Morgan Rielly scores for the Toronto Maple Leafs, assisted by Marner and Van Riemsdyk. Now, Rielly has been heating up the NHL for the past few games now. He's been on a point streak. He's been on a tear. Been playing absolutely amazing. Second period, nothing happens. Third period, nothing happens besides just competitive hockey. Everyone's like just getting really aggressive. Everyone's being super physical. Then, next thing you know, Dominic Moore takes a bad interference call. And I say bad only because this game was so physical and so interesting to watch and so great. It was physical. There were hits. Everyone was scrumming after face-offs and stuff like that. And next thing you know, Dominic Moore gets called for interference. And it was interference, but it was the kind of thing where you were just letting the players play at that point. Everyone was pushing each other over and stuff like that. So you call this really offsetting call compared to all these other calls that you missed against Dominic Moore, which completely changed the game as Tyler Bozak scores a power play goal, his 17th of the season, assisted by Van Riemsdyk and Zatsiev. And right after there, I mean, basically the game was over. Boston tried to pull their goaltender and, try to get an extra goal. William Nylander got it right dead center in the middle, assisted by Austin Matthews. Right after that, Nazem the Dream Kadri got another empty net goal, assisted by Brown and Polak. And then Boston, they got one more goal with 10 seconds left in the game. Dominic Moore, assisted by Akaria. And honestly, Dominic Moore, I feel so bad for him. They kept on cutting to him on the bench, and he was just sitting there looking so sad and so upset with himself for taking that penalty, even though, honestly, it really should not have been a penalty. As I said, they were playing so rough, so physical. They shouldn't have called that. I mean, you should have just let that slide, honestly. You didn't need to call that. Looking at this game as a whole, I mean, honestly, I have to say it was one of the most entertaining games of this NHL season. Probably because there was just so much on the line. They were in Toronto, one of the most passionate hockey cities in the world, if you ask me. They were really good, guns blazing, as I said. I mean, 2 points is a lot right now. Every single team has 10 or less than that games left in the regular season. These points are definitely what matters and separates you. So, I mean, getting 2 points and in regulation 2 points, that was huge for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I cannot stress how big this game was. And the Maple Leafs, I mean, they were playing very offensively ever since the puck was really first dropped. The Bruins really tried to hype it up, throughout the game. You can argue that the Bruins played a little bit better because they had more shots on goal, more of a face-off percentage, more hits and more blocks and less giveaways. But honestly, I think that the Maple Leafs had a lot more to lose and played like they had a lot more to lose, and that's why they ended up winning this game. It was sad that it was on a bad call with Dominic Moore, but these things do happen, and, life goes on. Overall, no one played really bad in either of these teams, to be completely honest. Everyone played really good. If I had to say who played probably the worst for the Boston Bruins, well, not really the worst, but just kind of the most confusing in the way that you didn't really ever get to see him, for me, was David Krejci. I mean, he was on the ice for 3 goals against, so he had a -3. He was on the ice for 20 minutes and 6 seconds, and you would never know it because he did not register a single point, a single shot, a single hit, a single takeaway, a single giveaway. Honestly, I don't even think he'd even touched the puck this entire game, and that's kind of surprising to see because David Krejci, he is like one of those main guys that you look on for the Boston Bruins roster. And today, he did not show up whatsoever. Looking at the good side of the Boston Bruins roster, though, I mean, I have to give it to the Rat, Brad Marchand. I mean, he's been hot and he's been proving it. He's doing what the Rat always does, chirping the opposition, and he was doing that all game. That was probably the best part of the game, was him and Leo Komarov after every single shift just chirping at each other, especially when Komarov was grabbing not Brad Marchand, but when he's grabbing Patrice Bergeron. There you go, I got it. He's grabbing him and was kind of wrestling with him. Marchand was just chirping him the entire time. So I give my credit to him. He did really well. Tuukka Rask did not make that many saves. He didn't have to make that many great saves, but he did play well. He did get 25 saves, I believe. Moving on to the Toronto side of things, someone who is maybe a little bit more disappointing for me. No one was overly disappointing on either of these teams, as I said, but a little bit more disappointing. Honestly, I don't think that Soshnikov played 100% like that well. He's still young, yes, but I think he can be playing better, especially with the line mates that he has. And it's just the kind of thing where he was a -1 this game. Can't really blame him. 2 penalty minutes. I mean, the penalty that he took, really should not have been a penalty. 2 hits, a block. He did give away the puck once. So honestly, like, he played okay, but he was probably like the least amount that I liked, the lowest point of the entire like Maple Leafs team. Moving on to what was really good. I really like Van Riemsdyk this game. 2 assists in this game. We usually see Van Riemsdyk score a little bit more, but he played pretty well actually, and it's the kind of thing where 2 assists, he had 3 shots on goal, really did not have any really hits or anything like that, but he did have a takeaway. So honestly, I commend him for more the defensive side of his game than, maybe the offensive side. But he played overall really, really well in this game, really solid. And, honestly, you also have to look at Freddie Anderson. I mean, now he's 8-0-0 against the Boston Bruins out of all time. That's incredible to think about, because he's played against the Boston Bruins for a good 3 or 4 seasons now. And honestly, to never have a loss, that's pretty impressive. So overall, this was a very good game for both sides of the team. As I said, very entertaining to watch. I wish that other people watched it too, so we could have had more people on the review. Sadly, we couldn't. But don't worry, the night for the Bottom Line View is just starting. We're starting from okay, but we're gonna get better because Raw is happening right after this in the next 10 minutes. So you guys should definitely stick around for that. And if you're not watching this live and you're just watching the recap, just watch Raw anyway. It's really entertaining, and I promise you, you aren't gonna want to miss this Raw. So thank you very much for watching the Bottom Line View video. I'm Fitty Trent. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure that you watch Raw, and peace out, everybody.